All right, guys. I think it's party time.
12:07.
And we should all get started.
Yes, let's do it.
All right, so,
Austin?
well, I was literally about to ask you, would you like to go to the next slide?
All right.
So we just wanted to just put out a reminder again that our Discord is only for social use, and again, social use only. Slack is our official means of communicating with everybody, whether it's news on cybersecurity, workshops, certifications, or anything general chat related. It's going to be there. Discord again is only for social use. Also, we do have Cybersecurity Awareness Fair, or for short, CSAF. So you'll hear us be using CSAF as the lingo for it, because it's a little easier to say. CSAF is coming up in, I believe, November or October, I forgot.
October.
October, yeah, that's right, October. So if you want to be participating, please do message our e-board. We will be checking our DMs to see if you would like to participate in any way, shape, or form. We just figured out our topic. If Amber would like to talk about it, since she happens to be enjoying that topic.
AI?
Yeah, the AI topic.
Actually, Austin?
Okay, well, it's basically we'll be using AI facial recognition, so we'll be talking about that for our CSAF, and it's also the theme of our CSAF will be wizardry.
Actually, it's AI recognition in regards to TikTok, since TikTok is a very popular application this past year.
I'm pretty sure it's both, actually. I think we talked about both. I could be wrong. And then we'll be talking about our upcoming events, whether it's club related and or professional organizations related. We'll be also talking about memberships, and then we will be having Amber's fishing presentation and workshop that she will be talking about later today. So for upcoming events, we have NCL, our National Cyber League. I will be leading the team for NCL. So if you really want to join, you're more than welcome to reach out to me on Slack at alin. But if you want to be up to date on all the news and me communicating with all people that are interested in National Cyber League, please do join the Slack channel, National Cyber League. We will be sharing these slides later on in the general chat, but short rundown is registration is due October 2nd. It's $35, open to all skill levels. Even if you're a brand new beginner, I did NCL when I was a brand new beginner. I learned a lot because they have a preseason and gymnasiums where you can learn. They also give you how to solve, whether it's password cracking, log analysis, scanning and recon, all those different topics. They will give you information on that. And you can practice without it affecting your score or anything. And then individual game starts October 23rd and team game starts November 6th. We will be having a team, and I will also be putting together teams for that as well. Moving on to the next slide.
Real quick, in regards to CSAF, I'd like to have JJ actually talk more about it. She's more of a veteran in regards to this, so I apologize for me freezing on the topic, but JJ has more knowledge about the topic. JJ?
Yeah, of course. So as Amber and Austin said, the topic is AI in regards to facial recognition and TikTok. So what we really want to talk about is the security issues that come with facial recognition and TikTok, as well as the way that diversity and bias play into the use of facial recognition. So that's going to be what our presentation, our booth presentation is on. And we are going to need volunteers to help set up our workshops and our games and presentations that we're going to present to everybody who comes to CSAF. So we will need volunteers. If that sounds even remotely interesting to you, please join the CSAF 2021 Slack chat and just get up to date on everything that we're doing. It's a really, really great opportunity. I had a blast last year. It was the most exhausting experience ever, but it was so much fun, which is why I'm participating again this year. It's seriously just the best. It's the best experience. So if you have any questions, go ahead and DM any one of us. Greg is also able to answer questions about this. But yeah, I mean, long story short, just please come join us. It's a really awesome time.
Thank you, JJ.
Perfect. Thank you, JJ. So on to our next slide. So one of our fellow clubs, MESA, will be hosting a professional tech mixer October 2nd from 6 to 8 PDT on Zoom. Registration ends the 24th. You can find the link to the registration on their site at calpolymesa.com. And then the companies that they will have at this professional tech mixer will include Kaiser, Disney, EY, NASA, Cisco, KPMG, and SoCal Edison. And then the dress code will be business professional. I highly recommend everybody to be participating. I'm pretty sure most of our e-board or our entire e-board will be attending it because we do like to make those network connections and or get those opportunities for internships and or jobs. Oh, so now we'll be talking about different professional organization events that we highly recommend for you to go out to and reach out to. So one of them will be ISACA LA. That's the one I have been participating in since the beginning of this year. And student membership fee is only $25 for a whole year. So their upcoming webinars include LinkedIn and networking. I think our treasurer Jackie will definitely be there. Hopefully, she does love her LinkedIn. Wednesday, September 16th, we have overview of current threats and threat security, and then Friday, September 28th or September 18th, we will be having a topic about interviews. I highly recommend it because you'll be making small talk with industry professionals, and I have made connections from there on LinkedIn due to being able to talk to people there, whether it's professors or people at EY, things like that. Moving on to, I believe, ISSA. They also have a student membership fee of $30 for, again, a whole year. And their most upcoming webinar will be Wednesday, September 16th, 11:45 PDT on Zoom, which is about diversity. And it will include guest speakers from Netflix and WSC, which is Women's Society of Cyber Jitsu. And lastly, we have Wonder Woman Tech. So our beloved Jackie recommended us this amazing event. So this is a virtual summit that takes place from September 16th to 19th from 9 a.m. to 5:30 PDT. So some of the really big name topics that some of y'all might be interested in will include a resume review from LA Times, a fireside chat with Dr. Ellen Ochoa, a former astronaut, and then a fireside chat with Barbara Y, who works at Intel. And it's also free for students. So if you want more information, please do reach out to Jackie. She will have all the links ready for you to join.
Membership. Thank you, Austin. So many of you have actually already paid your membership fee. So thank you so much. For those of you who haven't, it's $30 for the whole year. That'll include your t-shirt, mentorship, research teams, a bunch of other things. If you need it, go ahead and Venmo. You can reach out to me on Slack, but our Venmo is CalPolyFast. Just make sure that when you are Venmoing, you put your Cal Poly email, so that way we can get you registered and I can keep record of it. And then the next slide. All right, so Miss Amber has her workshop this Friday on this current presentation at noon via Zoom. It'll be so much fun. You do need to have installed Kali Linux for the social engineering part of the workshop. If you need help with that, please reach out to Amber, Finn, or Austin. They're super great when it comes to installing Kali Linux.
I can help too, if you want.
Oh yes, thank you, Sam. Actually, everyone here is really good at Kali Linux. So if you need help, just DM us on general and we'll take care of you. So that's this Friday at noon. And then without further ado, I get to introduce the really cool, amazing Madam President, Miss Amber Martinez. Go ahead and take it away.
Thank you, Jackie. I appreciate it so much. All right, guys, who's excited to go fishing? The reason why I actually decided to choose this topic because of the fact that we are virtually online This is where a lot of malicious hackers decide to actually attack us from home, virtually online, from our cell phones, emails, work emails, any way possible, because of the fact that we are vulnerable, we are at home, and even any kind of emails that are coming in or any kind of text messages coming in, you know, with everything just being so uncertain, we don't know what's going to happen. So obviously they know when to kick us when we're down, unfortunately. So what is phishing? Phishing is the art of deception in an attempt to obtain sensitive information such as usernames, passwords, credit card information, details by disguising oneself as a trustworthy entity and electronic communication. So in regards to all of this that's happening, you know, honestly, phishing is a very powerful weapon of social engineering. You get emails constantly coming in. Some of them could either be PayPal, Bank of America, Chase, Netflix, Amazon, anything. So anything that you receive will definitely be some sort of possible way of phishing information for your personal financial credentials. Some of the different types of phishing out there is spearfishing. Spearfishing is one of the most dangerous ones out there. This is in regard to a target attempt to steal sensitive information such as account credentials or financial information from specific victims, such as like celebrities and CEOs. I'm sure everybody who actually follows some celebrities on Twitter, Elon Musk and Bill Gates were one of the ones that were actually targeting this kind of situation for spearfishing for the Bitcoin Twitter compromise. I remember I was out and about coming home and all of a sudden my phone is getting blown up by Elon Musk tweets. And when I was reading them, it seemed a little fishy. It doesn't even seem like the real Elon Musk would actually be tweeting this kind of information. So, I mean, after working over at Tesla, I'm already kind of accustomed by some of the tweets that he's been sending out. So seeing something like this, it definitely does not even seem right. So according to this one website called The Verge, this attack relied on a significant and concerted attempt to mislead certain employees and exploited human vulnerabilities to gain access to our internal systems. So obviously right there, it shows that these Twitter employees were actually social engineered and phished for certain information to gain access into their admin tools. After they were able to access those admin tools, they were able to access different kinds of celebrities out there. Obviously, from what you can see here with the screenshot, Elon Musk, Bill Gates, Obama, Kim Kardashian, Kanye. There's a bunch of other celebrities out there who are all targeted in this kind of attack. So as you can see, it's definitely one of the most dangerous ones out there because who knows what kind of information that these attackers were able to get. From what I can remember, I believe they were able to get a certain amount of monetary prize from this spear phishing attack. Unfortunately, there was a good amount of people that did actually fall for this. They're just thinking, hey, send me $1,000, I'll send you 2,000 back. That sounds like an amazing deal because obviously these celebrities are doubling the amount you give them and giving it back to you. So you think like, hey, we're in a pandemic, we're quarantined at home, we need money, so we're gonna go ahead and double our investment. I mean, these people should be trusted, right? Another type of phishing is smishing or SMS phishing. This is a text-based variation of a traditional phishing scam. As a lot of people out there who may be obsessed with Amazon and doing a lot of their online shopping through Amazon, I received one of these text messages saying that your Amazon package with $103 loyalty reward will be delivered. Obviously, you can see my name is on there. So I was just thinking, okay, so somebody out there who's trying to possibly like target me knows my love for Amazon, that I will go ahead and click it. But as you can see here, I decided to have a little fun on my end saying, thank you for subscribing. You received one new photo, hoping that I would get some sort of feedback or kickback in regard to that. But unfortunately, to no avail. But it was still a fun attempt regardless on my end. So another type of phishing is phishing, which is voice over IP phishing. Some attackers will use spoofing tools to create phone numbers that may seem legitimate and social engineer the victim for personal information. Back when I used to work over at Comcast, I used to get several phone calls from customers stating that their phone number has been spoofed and contacted possibly a neighbor down the street or possibly a loved one. And as soon as somebody calls them back, they're irate about being harassed, most likely trying to fish for any kind of personal information, or just simply just being harassed just for no reason, because these attackers are malicious. They cannot be trusted. So whenever I've gotten phone calls in regards to that, we definitely inform them, letting them know, like, unfortunately, these attackers are using spoofing tools where they are randomly generating information that is kind of hard to be able to like duplicate in regards to be able to trace it, to see that kind of information being traced. So at that best, we can just inform them, hey, unfortunately, your phone number was spoofed. Anybody that calls you back in regards to this kind of information, please do reach out to them and let them know that unfortunately their phone number was spoofed. There's several times where I heard customers where they received spoof phone calls from Microsoft stating that there's an issue with their computer, and they let them gain access into their actual computer device and wiped away everything, or was able to retrieve some sort of personal information, banking information, social security cards, or any kind of credit cards. And at that point, that's where we just let them know, like, hey, you're gonna have to go ahead and contact all your different financial institutions, let them know that about this unfortunate event. Definitely try to contact any kind of creditors and try to find out if anybody tried opening up any kind of credit information with their social security, and also try to look into some sort of security lockdown services on their private information. As you can see here, I also attached a cloning phishing email, and a cloning phishing is a phishing attack they may deem legitimate and previously delivered email containing an attachment or link has added content and recipient addresses or address taken and used to create an almost identical cloned email. So since everybody uses LinkedIn, everybody is on LinkedIn, as you can see here, it looks like a legitimate LinkedIn email account. But if you were to actually kind of scroll over the hyperlink, as you can see here, it is attached with a fake website. It is not anything related to LinkedIn. The email address may look legitimate, but it's not. And also another thing you want to try to look at is, does it seem kind of fishy to you? Does it seem, legitimate? It's one of those things you have to ask yourself many different questions to figure out, to determine whether this is a real legitimate email or not. So in regards to different examples of phishing emails, I was helping out my mom with a cybersecurity awareness training. And it just so happened that I received literally a cloning phishing email from Amazon stating that my account has been locked, billing information issues, we locked your account, hold all your last orders. We took this into action because the billing information you provided did not match the information on the card issued file. To unlock your account, you can click on the button below and proceed with verifying your identity and prove that it is your account. Funny thing, I did actually put in an order like a couple days prior, so I'm just thinking, oh man, something wrong with my credit card? Like, did it all of a sudden get compromised? I almost could have been phished. But then when I actually look deeper into it, I'm like, wait a minute, something doesn't look right here. It does look legitimate on my end. Just anybody else that receives this, like say for instance, a neighbor next door, or maybe like a grandparent, they're just thinking, oh my God, something's wrong with my Amazon account. I just put in an order yesterday. I just want to make sure everything goes through. And they're getting ready to verify their account. But once I was able to double tap on the email address, as you can see, it is definitely not from Amazon. Right then and there actually shows a real indicator that this is a cloning phishing email and that this cannot be trusted. Obviously, if I were to try to remove some of the hyperlink information and try to run it through some of my security tools that I actually truly trust, it would actually pop up as a red flag. So at that point, it's best not to click on any of this information, send it to spam mail, and definitely go ahead and delete it. One of my favorite social media phishing attempts. This happened this past summer, and I would like Jackie to be able to help me with this one. So this past summer, um, Jackie and I became really close since we are both on eBoard. Jackie is a very reputable and very trustworthy person. However, her message looks a little suspicious more than usual with an attached link. When clicking on this link, obviously, as you can see, it redirects back to an Instagram sign-in page. Jackie, would you like to help me out with this one?
Yeah, even though like I'm in technology and in this club, I'm still prone to phishing and hacking. This is my Instagram. I was not aware that I was being phished until someone else brought it to my attention, because whoever was phishing me, they were, I wasn't able to see the messages. I had seen a message very similar to this like 3 days prior to getting this. A friend of mine who's an engineer at CPP had sent me this link, and I just opened the message just to see like, oh, what, maybe he needs some help with like a class that we're in, and then found out that I got the exact same message, and it's like, click this link. I know better, so I was like, hey, like, I think your account's been hacked. You probably should change your password. And I kind of just left it alone. Well, I guess by me just opening up my message, I'm not sure how the hack happened, but everyone and a lot of people in Fast got the message. Friends got this message from me. 9 out of like 10 people that I talked to me actually did open the link, because they thought like I was making like a collage. I do like photos and photography, so a lot of people fell for it. Most people stopped at when you actually click the link, it would redirect you to the Instagram page. So a lot of people just realized, hey, like, this is a phishing attempt. I did have 2 friends, however, put their personal information in the link, and right when my friend did that, her account was phished and hacked. Like, we got like this error message. I could see what the hacker was doing. I could see him changing her password in the moment, and it took us about 45 minutes to recover her account. But another problem is her Instagram and Facebook were linked, so not only was he able to hack her Instagram, he was also able to hack her Facebook. Luckily for me, and being in Fast, I've learned these tools, so I was able to recover those accounts, but she was completely freaking out. And I just basically want to make sure that people are aware of this when it happens to them, because it can happen. And even though people trust me, I love that. Thank you. That's such a compliment. But if you get a weird link from me, don't open it, just because it's not me. So I was like, well, thank you for the trust. But a lot of people in Fast, a lot of the e-boards said, hey, like, we opened it because we thought it's okay because it was you. I'm like, no, don't trust me. I don't care if it's your mom, your dad, your husband, wife, boyfriend, girlfriend, anything that you get from anyone, you should screen from caution, because usually hackers will use the people that you know the most. So be cautious. Thank you, Miss Amber.
Thank you so much, Jackie. Yeah, it was a really interesting time when that happened, and I had to go ahead and notify her saying like, hey, I'm pretty sure with the amount of people you've been texting on Instagram, I'm sure we've all been the targets. And just for the fact that, again, Jackie is a very trustworthy person, we're thinking she's being sweet and created this randomly nice collage for us. But as you can see, this looks very fishy, and it's definitely not from her. So one thing I do want to go ahead and talk about is a DHA phishing attack. DHA stands for Directory Harvest Attack. This is a standard dictionary attack technique used by spammers in an attempt to find valid and existent email addresses at a domain by brute forcing. The example below indicates different permutations of common usernames related to Vincent at a Hotmail domain address. The attackers find this email effective when finding email addresses from companies that are likely to utilize a standard format for their official email addresses. So because one of my friends, his name is Vincent, and he sent me this, he's actually from Comcast. So it was really nice that I was able to still continue keeping close relationships with my Comcast friends. They're the ones that actually taught me all about this phishing, and they're the ones that actually got me into cybersecurity, and I am forever grateful for that. So the fact that they sent me this in regards to like a Netflix phishing, as you can see, there are several different types of Vincent email addresses. One of the main reasons why, now if, for an example, you have sent out an email to somebody thinking that their name is like Vincent123 at hotmail.com, but turns out their email address is Vincent_123. So it's going to send you back a mailer daemon saying that the email is actually incorrect. So therefore, the email was never been able to send out. So hackers and scammers are able to receive that kind of information back to them to indicate which emails are actually non-legitimate. So they know, okay, I'm going to do like a compare and contrasting of some of the emails I already did. So basically like an email auditing. Ones that are actually legitimate will be on this list, and then ones that are non-legitimate will be on the other list. So they can actually see which ones are real legitimate ones, so they can continue using that email address for further spamming and phishing attempts to gain the information they're looking for. Again, it could be financial information, account information, anything where they can be able to utilize and use the customer's vulnerabilities. So some of the phishing facts that I wanted to go ahead and share with you is some of the things that may have happened over the years. 33% of breaches include social engineering attacks. 65% of attacker groups have used spear phishing as a primary infection vector. 29% of breaches involved use stolen credentials. 48% of malicious email attachments are office files. 94% of malware was delivered via email, and 32% of breaches involve phishing. I cannot express enough how popular spear phishing is. I'm sure it happens with all these big name companies. There are several times where I've heard through the grapevine that some of the CEOs at other people's companies have been getting spear phished, and luckily for their security team, they're able to go ahead and get it dead in its tracks before it went any further. So right then and there, I'm very grateful to be able to be part of the incident engineering team. During my internship this past spring, I was able to learn some of the tactics they were able to use to stop any kind of spear phishing attacks. And honestly, just with any kind of knowledge that I have received from Comcast in regards to phishing, email security is the biggest thing of all times. And I just fell in love with it, because you'd be surprised what these attackers are trying to do, trying to gain some sort of private information and being able to leak that private information up on the World Wide Web, where other people are saying, hey, this is the information of the latest leak of a new iPhone or a new Tesla model, or some sort of private information where they're able to get the financial monetary money that they're looking for. So to me, it's a very wonderful group to be part of in cybersecurity and information security, and just learning everything that I have. I just, again, wanted to go ahead and share some of the phishing information that I have learned over the time that I have been employed with these different companies. So some of the questions you want to be able to ask yourself before clicking any kind of malicious links out there. Is it from a trusted source? Do I know this person? Will my account become compromised? It's a good possibility. It might, if you were to actually click on the links. Will my device become infected? Depending on the information that was sent to you through phishing, maybe like an attachment, it may be coming from a legitimate person, or it seems like a legitimate person, such as like the cloning phishing email that I was able to provide for you as an example. It's a good possibility that your device can become infected. Am I being targeted? Again, that goes back to the spear phishing. Yes, you can be targeted in regards to a spear phishing if you are like a huge owner of a big corporation. Is his logo correct? I've seen some wonky logos like Facebook being backwards, or LinkedIn being backwards, or PayPal just not exactly looking like PayPal. So it's a good possibility that some people are actually kind of tweaking the logo. So to your eyes, you're constantly used to seeing like PayPal, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. They make look legitimate, but there's people out there with their photoshopping skills. They might tweak it just a little bit so that you may think like, oh, it's normal, but then I'll realize like, wait a minute, I have to do a double take. Does the grammar look correct? That's a big indicator of a phishing email. Some of the grammar may look a little different, and I swear not a lot of these phishing emails have the correct grammar. So that's always something you want to take into consideration. And also, is it credible? You know, you don't know whether this is real or not. So again, you want to try to look over those hyperlinks to see whether the link looks like a legitimate link versus one that shows a fake link. Some of the useful security links that I have used over the time is, have I been pawned? You can actually put in your email address in there and see how many times your email address have been compromised throughout all the different breaches that have occurred over the past several years. There is one email address that I really don't care for. I use it for coupons. I just use it for giveaways and such. I really don't care for it. So as soon as I put it in, I did not realize how many times it has been compromised. So right then and there made me realize, okay, maybe I should actually start practicing stronger security tactics by changing my password every so often, running antiviruses, making sure everything is solid, because you never know when is the next time your account might be compromised. Virus total. It is the biggest lifesaver I've ever learned my whole entire life. There are several times where I'm trying to determine whether if this specific link is actually legitimate or not. Once you actually run it through Virus Total, again, these are all free that you can actually look up to. Put in the link, it'll show you a huge list of all the different antiviruses and security companies that actually have used Virus Total and are affiliated with them. So whenever it's actually run through their database system, you can actually see whether that security company has actually flagged it as a malicious attempt or phishing scam or anything like that. I kid you not, it saved my life. I'm sure it'll go ahead and save yours as well. Also, if you're kind of doubting your password or the password length, I would suggest using the password.kaspersky.com. As we all know that Kaspersky is one of the antiviruses out there. The fact that they offer this kind of information to determine whether your email strength is solid or not, it's a very great useful tip, and maybe something you actually want to go ahead and share with one of like your family members. If you think that, oh, I'm going to go ahead and use the same password for the next 5 of my emails, I'll be fine, because you'd be surprised. There's several people out there do not have the greatest password practices. Some people have actually written down their password on a post-it note, so you can actually see it on the corner of their computer screen, and you actually see like, wait a minute, why do you have your password? Oh, I don't remember my password all the time because it's 12 characters long. It's like, okay, I understand that, but don't have it out in the open. People can actually try to take a picture of that and be able to log into your credentials and steal any kind of private information. Obviously, here being at FAST, we all know this kind of information, but it is great that we actually can teach this to other people who may not exactly be technically inclined or even information security inclined. They may know certain information about like security practices, but maybe their security practices are not as strong as ours. So it's always great to be able to explain that information to them. So, I've heard several times where people decided to put their password as password 1234. Obviously, we know that is not the best security practice. It may be easy to remember, but it's not exactly the greatest. So it's something to always actually think about. Another one is becybersafe.com. It has numerous different links to different companies, different information where I can actually be considered as a cyber warrior, where I can be safe and be able to learn any kind of information that I have learned on the internet, be able to share this information with you guys, being able to share this information with some of my family members. I have a lot of family members in business, but none of them are technical savvy. So that's what I am here for, to help them with this kind of information. I will send them links saying, hey, here's some really good reading material that you may want to take into consideration so that they have a better understanding how they can become miniature cyber warrior to be able to save their information from being compromised in the future. Since a lot of us are more attached to technology nowadays, obviously the later generations are not going to even know that. So that's what we're here for, to be able to teach that information. Also, in regards to the Twitter hack compromise, I actually have shared some of my online sources from The Verge. It will actually inform you to let you know about the social engineered attacks that have been used on some of the Twitter employees. And they actually tell them about that they were able to access admin tools. So one thing you definitely want to remember, think about who you're talking to over the phone. Think about who you're communicating with through text message. Think about who you are communicating with maybe through instant messaging, through Teams. There's a good possibility that there could be a scammer out there who has malicious intent trying to communicate with you, saying that they are your coworker from another department, trying to gain access to certain information or to a certain tool that they don't exactly have access to. So if you think they're trustworthy, I would suggest talking to a supervisor just to double check to make sure that they are related to the company. So I just wanted to go ahead and let you guys know that. Just please, 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 especially since we are here at home, be aware of your surroundings. You never know what's going to happen when you're virtually online and also working from home. So in conclusion, in regards to this presentation, think before clicking any kind of links. You never know what kind of link is going to redirect you to. Know the possible repercussions of being compromised. Run a safe, updated, and trusted antivirus. You have no idea how many times I actually express this to everybody. The fact that I used to work over at Comcast and got my first start into cybersecurity, I've had several customers call in stating that their family members recommend them to get a Mac, saying, oh, get a Mac, no problem. You will be safe. You're not going to receive any kind of viruses whatsoever. You're not going to get compromised or anything. Just, just be aware. They can get attacked. They can get infected. So it's just one of the things, regardless of what kind of device you have, they can get infected. Do not download any unknown attachments. And this one's a big one that I actually want to reiterate to everybody. Do not use your social media accounts like Facebook or Google account to log into features, into apps or links that can be unrecognizable or unpopular. Just be careful. If you were to do that, your account may be compromised and the rest of all of your accounts can be compromised for sure. And also, lastly but not least, do not share any personal details or any kind of financial information. I also look forward to seeing you guys this Friday. I will actually show you how to read headers from an email. In regards to the Vincent email, that one I was able to trace the IP address back to New York. I can actually show you how to be able to read email headers to be able to show you some of the email servers and some of the IP addresses that is actually coming from. As well as on Kali Linux, I can actually show you one of the open source tools that could have been used in regards to the phishing attack that Jackie unfortunately endured this past summer. So I can show you like some of the things that they have actually done. And also, I'm going to try to find some of my open SMTP headers so I can actually show you some of the things of, some of the dangers of having an open SMTP mail server and how certain emails can be cloned so that it looks like an email is being sent to you from yourself. Thank you, everybody. Do you have any questions? Comments? Concern?
Good job.
Thank you for the presentation.
Thanks, Amber.
Excited
That
for
was awesome.
Friday.
Seriously, good job.
So much.
So what do you think about the use of cloud email servers? Everyone is using Office 365 and Google and all that sort of thing. Do you think that's changing the changing people needing to know about how to configure mail servers? And do you think security people and IT administrators are starting to spend less time actually understanding the basics of email, kind of expecting it to be handled?
Usually it should be handled just fine. However, there are some companies out there that do offer some extra protection. I know from my previous jobs where I've had internships, they've utilized different companies to protect their email mail servers and implement new certain rules so that certain emails that do come in are actually blocked, so that they have set up a blacklisting, so that certain information can come in and certain ones that are legitimate from certain mail servers, and which ones that seem illegitimate do not come in. So basically whitelisting versus blacklisting.
Oh, well, I didn't mean so much that, but I mean like in terms of like IT administrators, like the people actually the people who are in charge of configuring and adding users and setting up their company and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like these days everyone believes that the cloud stuff just kind of handles it, and so people don't really spend the time and wonder, did I configure my DNS right? Did I actually set up all my security policies right? Because they kind of expect it to be done. It's like that's an issue that administrators 10 years ago had to worry about, and new administrators just don't have to worry about it anymore. I think it's false, but what are your thoughts on that?
Just based from my previous experiences, it's always good to have the solid security practices of going through all the different rules and implementations through the email servers, just to make sure that certain emails that actually do come through are actual legitimate versus ones that are not. I believe Microsoft actually has something in regards to their email security for cloud services, I believe.
Oh, absolutely. Cool. Well, that's a whole dive. I lived in the mail ecosystem for quite a while and had to learn a lot of this stuff. And it's like, it's like you said, all of business runs through email. And if it's not secured down right, like there's so many attack vectors, it's wild.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, cool. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Any other questions, anybody? Comments?
I kind of have like sort of a comment, I suppose. More recently, I've learned that my parents pay like $170 per like mass email, because the thing is that they have a business that we have to send emails to, like, I don't know, 2,500 or 25,000 participants, right?
Mm-hmm.
And these are basically just like all of our customers and everything like that. And I was like, to be perfectly honest with you, I was kind of appalled that we had to pay like $170 every time we had to send an email, to all these people, because the thing is like, that's crazy. So lately I've been actually setting up a STMP send only server based on actually one of the old POS computer systems that they had. And there was a lot of stuff that kind of came up to me when I was first kind of setting up the SMT server that was like, yeah, be kind of careful on your hosting, be kind of careful on like, just be careful about all the possible attack vectors that can be possible, even though it's a send only server.
Mm-hmm.
And I honestly, I had to kind of cut back on the project a little bit, because I'm still kind of trying to accumulate all the possible security factors that I have to be accountable for when I do this. So not only that, but I need a place to kind of host the domain, because the thing is that I need to purchase a domain so that I can actually point to the correct router where everything is, but I need to get something for that. So yeah, I know it's been definitely, it's a lot. It's a lot of really scary stuff, especially when it comes to mail. I agree with Greg. That stuff is really scary. I get nervous just thinking about it. But
Thank you for that, Sam. Yeah, it can be very tedious in regards to like email security for sure. All right, guys. Well, this goes ahead and wraps it up. I'm going to bring it back to the sign-in screen. So just in case if you didn't have a chance to be able to sign in, this is now your chance. And we just want to say thank you for coming into my presentation today. I can literally go deep down a rabbit hole in regards to phishing. It's a really great topic to learn about and basically immerse yourself, especially working in the industry. It's quite interesting to see what kind of different phishing emails come through all the different mail servers, especially the spearfishing ones. Those ones are just very entertaining to me. So I just want to say thank you so much. I look forward to this Friday. And if you need help in regards to setting up your Kali Linux machine, again, feel free to let us know you need any help and we would gladly to be able to assist you. And also we want to give you enough time to be able to get some food, use a restroom, get some water right before your next classes. So thank you again very much.